Hello and welcome to Q&A Tuesdays. My name is Ufomadu and this is the Styledby Abba TV, the place to build a life and work that honors God and impacts the world. Today on Q&A Tuesday, we have a question from Ifeoma. Ifeoma says, Dear IJ, I do not seem to be lucky with domestic helps. It's either they are evil or the good ones leave on time. It's really exhausting. I've had about 9 domestic helps in the last 2 years. Wow. I totally understand your pain. 9 domestic help in 2 years. I understand how frustrating that can be. But this is not for us to dwell on that. Let's move into the solution that we need, all right? So first of all, we're going to start off with this question. What do you really think about domestic helps? What is your perspective? I know this was probably not what you're expecting, Ifeoma, but the truth is that you attract what you think in your mind. So I've had a couple of friends and colleagues who, because of the things they've watched on social media, they believe that all domestic helps are intrinsically evil. So they feel that, okay, every domestic help, has some level of evil in them, that the good ones are very rare. Not that they don't believe the good ones are available. Let me change that. Some of them do, but that they are very rare. More like a camel going through the eye of a needle. And the truth is that as long as you have that mindset, you're going to find it very difficult to find a good one. And when that good one comes, because your mindset does not have the capacity to carry it, you reject that good one. So it's like a woman or a girl who thinks that she's unlovable. When she eventually gets someone that truly loves her, she might destroy the relationship with her hands, because as much as she wants to keep it, and in trying to keep that good one, she actually does things that harms the relationship. So I'll first of all ask you, what is your mindset about helps? You really believe that there are good helps there? I remember I told somebody once that I'm a good woman and I'm a good boss, and the God that knows that I'm a good woman and a good boss will connect me to the good domestic help that I need. And that has been my story. Now, does it mean that I don't have domestic help that misbehave? They do. But I've been able to handle them. And when it's time for one to go, in fact, I've only had 2 domestic helps really in about 5 years. So the one that when it was time for them to go, I know it's time for them to go. So of course that they have been good all the while does not mean they get to a point and it's not time for them. It doesn't mean that they will stay with you forever. But for the time they're meant to stay with you, they would stay with you and really give you value. So you need to ask yourself first what your mindset is. If Nollywood and media has filled you with trash about helps, you need to flush it off. I'm not saying that those stories are not true. I'm saying that if you let those stories fill you, that is what you're only going to get. Like people say, there are divorces everywhere. You don't let that get into you. You focus on your own marriage and you make it work. If you ask some girls, they'll say all men are. I don't want to use the word, but I'm sure you know what I mean. But I'm sure that you're married, to a good man, and you know someone too who is married to a good man. So that those stories exist does not mean that the good ones don't exist. It's just a lot of people don't come out to talk about how good their helps are. Bad news sells. Do you understand? So you need to pay attention to what you think about domestic help, because you will attract what you truly think. All right. Number 2, I'm going to say involve God in the matter. See, it's all about God, sis. It's all about God. Like, you can live with it. Is in Him we live, we move, we have our being. We have our being. So you need to involve God. You need to ask God to help you. Remember when I had my first son, and my aunts and my mom, they came for the customary omugwo, and they were about to go. And my mom said, okay, I'm going to try and get you somebody to help. I lay down flat on the ground and said, God, I'm a career person, and I know that this is my call for this season. This is my fault for this season. You have not told me to resign, but somebody needs to take care of this boy. I need somebody from you. And I made that prayer. I still remember how I lay down on the ground and made that prayer to God, and I had the peace in my heart that He had heard me. It wasn't even a long prayer. I stood up, and the person that came to take care of my first son is someone that had been getting requests, for help before then, and she refused. But for some reason, she said she likes my mom, and she came. And she was even what I needed, because it was my first child. I knew nothing about taking care of children. I was spoiled at childbirth, so I didn't even know how to beat my baby, because I had my aunt around. I'm the first, all that whole thing, family around and all that. But she came with the wealth of experience. She was an elderly woman, and she really, really, gave us value that time. So you need to involve God in the matter, because God knows the people that fit you. He knows what you need in every season of your life. All right. Number 3, I'm going to say, watch your eyes. They say watch and pray. That's typical advice they give singles these days. Watch with one eye and watch and pray. So yes, watch. You need to do your homework. You still need to, that you're involving God and you're having a good mindset does not mean you won't do your homework. You need to do your homework. Go to good agencies that do their homework well. I know that the Made For Me helps. I think they give advice. I think they also help with outsourcing. I'm not sure. Made For Me, they're on Instagram. Then AY Staffing, Elizabeth and J2 Mobi. I hope I'm getting the name correctly, but I know that it's Ayemi or something. It's on Instagram, so I'm going to look for the link and I'm going to drop it in the footnotes, so you could just go and check them up. Those guys do their homework, but you still have to do your own homework. All right. Do the research that you need to do. Make sure that those guys have people that are like referees for them, people that you can even report them to, people that that they respect, people that don't just bring someone into your house that does not have somebody that they revere. So as you can have someone that you can say, okay, this day I'm going to report you to this person, and they reset. So I know that is one advice they always give in marriage. When you're getting married, make sure that your husband or your wife has somebody that you can, on their side, not on your own side, on their side, that you can report them to, or you might want to report them to, and it will make them to correct themselves, just in case they're getting familiar. So through that way, your help to let it be somebody that you can escalate to, and then, okay, I'm going to do this, someone that you can always report them to. I'm sure you get that right now. All right. So the next thing is treat them well. Treat them well. See, I know that we feel that if we treat the helps well, they would relax too much, but that will lead me to the next point. Be kind but firm. Be kind but firm. And that is a balance that you can't do totally by yourself, because people come in different flavors. So it's something that you still have to ask God to help you, but be kind and firm. Let them know that you care, but set out the boundaries on time. Let them know this is what they can do, this is what they cannot do, this is what is permitted, this is what's not permitted. This is what they should ask permission for. This is not what they should ask permission for. And make life easier for them and for you. Draw up timetables. Draw up what's the word now? Standard operating procedures for your home. Let them know this is how to do things. This is how to attend to your children. So that you don't have to keep shouting and be having, or keep correcting, or and be having continuous brawls with them. Have something that they can refer to, so that you don't be like, auntie, not tell me or something. Document your procedures. The paper is always, they say paper is always mightier than the sword, but sometimes when you write, it stays on the sands of time than when you just speak. Words can be forgotten or misunderstood, but when you write, you have something to refer to, and it makes life easier for both of you. So have your standard. Is there a certain way you want your children to be attended to in the morning? Write it down. Where she can see it and study and ask you questions, so she gets used to it. All right. The last one I'm going to say is, beyond treating them well, invest in them. Invest in them. Find a way to invest in them. Treat them like a family member. Of course, you might be paying them, but find a way to invest in them. Maybe you can say, okay, if you're already paying them, you can decide to do non-monetary investment in them. You can decide to take time out to pray for them, and in your daily prayers. They don't need to know, but you're spiritually investing in them. You can decide that you want to buy them books to read, or ask them what you want to do with your life and start to position them towards that. But find a way to invest in them. Maybe you're not paying them, but there is really any help that you don't pay these days, but find a way beyond what you're doing to invest in them. Above all, I would say, like I said earlier, involve God in this whole thing, and ask God to help you. Because I'm going to tell you something. When it was time for my first help to go, I was a little bit hard of hearing, but something happened and I knew it was time to go. That was just God letting me know, and I'm glad that it happened when it did. So ask God to always help you to be sensitive, so that when it's time for a change, you know it's time for a change. But while they are with you, give them the best as an honor to God, not even to them, as an honor to God. All right, so that's about it. I hope this helps. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ifeoma, for reaching out. It's been a pleasure answering these questions. I really answered them from a very personal place, and I'm really grateful that I could do that, you know. And have an amazing, God-defined rest of the day. And to everyone watching, thank you so much for tuning in. See you same time, same channel next week. Bye-bye.